Welcome to How to Go from Expert Marketer to Fractional CMO. By the end of this training today, you'll be able to position yourself as a high-ticket marketing leader and step out of execution mode, charge premium prices for your expertise so you can earn six figures or more in your business, working less than you are right now, and land high-ticket clients who respect your time and trust your expertise. And it doesn't matter if you don't have a big audience or a steady stream of leads, you feel maybe like you're not experienced enough to step into leadership, or if you've been in execution mode for years and you don't really know how to reposition yourself. And here's why I can say that with confidence, because I was exactly where you are. I went from being overworked, underpaid, burnt out, wondering if I even liked marketing anymore, to building a six-figure fractional CMO business in just 6 months. And I did not do that with ads or a huge following or endless content creation. I just made one simple shift, and I'm going to show you how to do the same today. So you are in the right place if any of this sounds familiar to you. So your strategies and ideas have made your clients thousands of dollars, but you're still struggling to break your own income ceiling, and you're probably feeling a little bit burnt out. You probably want to earn more, but you don't feel like you can add any more work to your plate. Also, you love marketing, but you don't necessarily want to be in the weeds of execution anymore. You really want to spend time in your zone of genius, get paid for your ideas, direct the team, but not actually have to implement everything that's needed to make it happen. You probably also crave time freedom. And if I'm guessing, you probably started this business because you wanted flexibility, but your current business model is probably not feeling very free. If I'm guessing, most of your days are spent out putting out client fires, stuck on Zoom calls, back-to-back meetings, and those slow mornings that you kind of dreamed about or thought might happen in your business are like very few and far between. And then lastly, you have the potential to earn more, but you're really unsure how to attract higher paying clients and what that would look like. And you're probably feeling scared that if you raise your rates too much, you won't have any work. So if any of these sound like you right now, I want to assure you that you're in the right place, and I'm going to show you how to solve each of these things in today's masterclass. So just a little reminder here, if you stick with me to the end of today's presentation, as a special gift and a thank you for your time today, I'm going to send you a copy of today's slide deck so you don't have to worry about taking notes, and the exact email pitch templates I used to land Jenna Kutcher and many others as a client, so you have proven templates to generate your own high-ticket leads. But before we jump in, I want to give you a little bit of background on me and why I'm qualified to share this with you today. So my name is Jess Shira. I'm a fractional CMO and founder of Navi, the fractional CMO agency. When I started this business, I scaled it to six figures in 6 months. And this year, like this fiscal, my agency hit $1 million in revenue. And I don't share that to be like gross marketing. I just share that to share with you and open up your mind to the possibility, because if you would have told me this was going to be my business 4 years ago, I never would have believed you. I've also had the opportunity to work with some of the industry's biggest creators like Jenna Kutcher, Chris and Lori Harder, and so many more. And then outside of work, I'm a mom of two. I love Pilates. I love traveling. I have freedom and flexibility in my schedule, and I really only work about 25 to 30 hours a week, which allows me to be a really present mom for my girls, have time for myself, and easily fit my life into my calendar. And I've created a business doing work that I love. And so I feel really lucky because work does not feel like work to me most days, but it was not always this way. So in 2010, I started my career at a tech startup as an unpaid intern. I was also working full-time serving so I could pay my bills. And I was doing cold calls and marketing admin. in 2016, so about 6 years later, I landed my dream job. I applied relentlessly at Lululemon over those 6 years. And, if anyone on this call knows me, when I have a goal, like I will move mountains to make it happen. And this was one of those. So I was so excited. I got to manage huge budgets, lead global marketing campaigns, and work with some incredible global brand partners. And I should have been so happy, but the truth is, it was awful. It really sucked. And I've had so many times in my career since then, even where I felt like maybe I hated marketing. But I think in retrospect and being able to look back and have learned, it was actually the environment or my boss or the work I was doing. It was always that, not actually marketing. And this was definitely one of those times for me. So fast forward to 2019 when I had my very first daughter, Blair. This was my birthday, actually. She was 10 days old. When I was on maternity leave with her, something inside of me shifted. And I really just knew in that moment, I could not go back to corporate life the way I knew it. I couldn't do the long hours. I couldn't do the politics. I just did not have that level of hustle in me anymore. And I was thinking about going on my own and, starting my own business. But to be honest, I was scared. So instead, I took a job where I could have the flexibility that I really craved. And the CEO that ran the company that I was working at really knew and understood the importance of work-life integration. So there was so many times I would take Zoom calls with Blair on my lap as a little baby because her nap wasn't aligning with the meeting times and things like that. So this gave me a taste of having control over my schedule. And I just knew I could never go back to corporate. So then I was about to go on my second maternity leave in 2021. And I kept having almost these intrusive thoughts about starting my own business. And, I had always had that entrepreneurial itch, but I wasn't really, no timing ever felt right until right before I had my second baby. So it felt totally crazy from a timing perspective, but it also felt really right in my bones. And so I started my own business right around the time I had Ella. The problem was I had no idea what I was going to do. I knew obviously I wanted to stay in marketing, but I just didn't know what that meant. Was I going to do websites, branding? Was I going to do messaging? Was I going to do strategy? I really wasn't sure. And I spent a lot of time just thinking about what I loved about marketing. I kept talking to family and friends and telling them, I really love managing and creating strategy. And I just the things that drain me is the actual execution, getting in and writing social media posts and scheduling emails and changing landing pages. And I just kept thinking what about a part-time marketing director? Is that a thing? Could I just do strategy? I knew I really loved that, and I just didn't know what that looked like. So then I found the term fractional CMO, and everything really clicked. The more I learned about the role and what it looked like and what that meant to work with clients, the more boxes it ticked for me. And unfortunately, you're missing a really cute Taylor Swift GIF on this slide. So just imagine her cheering. She's so happy that I found this term. It just really almost felt like I had found my proverbial career home the more and more I learned about the role. So before I get ahead of myself, I want to clarify what a fractional CMO is and isn't, so we're all on the same page and decide if it resonates with you. So a fractional CMO is a part-time chief marketing officer who works with a handful of clients to create strategy and lead their marketing function. So I want to talk a little bit about what they do and what they don't do, because you'll find that when you look up fractional CMO and when you talk to various people who call themselves fractional CMOs, I feel like there's a lot of variation, and I really see the role, through a specific lens. So let's talk through what a fractional CMO does. So a fractional CMO creates marketing strategy that's aligned with the business goals. They define brand positioning and messaging strategy. They create strategy around campaigns and funnels. So, if you've ever done a launch, if you've ever done a campaign around a product, they set and track key metrics for marketing performance, and they often lead marketing teams, agencies, and contractors. So let's talk a little bit about what they don't do. So you're not filling the role of a marketing manager. We are not in the weeds as a fractional CMO. We are also not project managers. So we're not project managing the team. There is no assigning things in Asana. We're not project managing campaigns or projects. We are also not executing on anything. So there's no copywriting, there's no design, there's no marketing tech work. We're also not digging into the back end of any tools or systems. We delegate that work. And then we're also not an expert in every single marketing channel. So out of curiosity, how many of you are already doing a lot of what a fractional CMO does, or even some elements of it? Just drop your answers in the chat there. If you're creating marketing strategy, or even if you're a copywriter or you're a social media strategist creating strategy around that channel, drop in the chat if any of those things on this do list are things that you have done or do in your day-to-day work. Ashley, yes. All right, so now that we're clear on what a fractional CMO is and isn't, yeah, Janelle and your marketing corporate job, yes, exactly, right? Now that we're clear on what that role is and isn't, let's dive into the 3 simple steps it takes to shift from an expert marketer to a fractional CMO, because chances are you probably have already all of the ingredients and skill set that you need. It's just a matter of positioning and how you're selling yourself and your business model. So step 1, position yourself as the strategist and a leader. So I first want to talk about imposter syndrome. How many of you, drop in the chat if you are worried or feel like you might not be experienced enough yet to be a CMO or a fractional CMO. So drop in the chat if that is something, imposter syndrome or any of that comes up when you think about stepping into leadership at all. And I want you to think, if that feeling is coming up for you, if you're thinking like, oh, I don't know if I'm experienced enough, or I'm not really sure if I have what it takes, I've never been a CMO. Yeah, Janelle, you feel that. What I want you to think about is you are probably already doing a lot of what a fractional CMO does. Like Janelle, you said that you were doing a lot of those things in your corporate job. So it's normal to feel that way, but think through that lens, you're already doing that. So we're all marketers in this room. We all know how important positioning is. So I want to give you a little bit of an example here. So take the Stanley. We all know what this is. When I read this, tell me how this makes you feel. Drop the words in the chat. A 40-ounce stainless steel tumbler with double wall vacuum insulation to keep drinks hot or cold for hours. Comes with a lid and straw for easy sipping. Like, so boring. I pretty much fell asleep reading that, right? And when I read this, how does this make you feel? The emotional support bottle that never leaves your side, keeps your iced coffee cold all day, fits in your car cup holder because priorities, and is practically a personality trait at this point. If you know, you know. So I think, the point here is, as marketers, it can be so easy to have blind spots within our own marketing or our own positioning. We often don't have time to market ourselves. And so I want to remind you how important your own positioning is, of you, your experience, and how you show up. Because the truth is, like I said, you already have the skills. You're just not getting paid enough for them because your clients don't see you as a leader. So when you come in as a CMO in someone's business, you're not an order taker or a doer. You're a partner to the CEO. They trust you, they confide in you, and they look to you for guidance. You're really working alongside the CEO. And they're hiring you for your mind and your expertise, not a list of tasks that they need to get done. So the dynamic is totally different, and you get paid a premium because they see you as a leader alongside themselves. So now I want to walk you through how I repositioned myself when I stepped into this role, because I was not a CMO before this. You can look on my LinkedIn to see my work history, but I had held leadership positions, I had held marketing management roles, but I hadn't ever held the title of CMO. And it was really around how I positioned myself. So I think some of these things you could also do for yourself. The first one was I updated my social media profiles to highlight my leadership and strategic experience. So I really, like taking that Stanley example, I really leaned into all of the leadership stuff I had done, the strategy I'd created, and I pulled in the most, the parts of my experience that most aligned with what I wanted to do now. I also created a really simple website positioning myself as a CMO speaking to my ideal client. And when I say simple, I mean it. This was nothing crazy. I didn't pay anyone to copyright it or do a nice design. It was a very simple, like one-page Squarespace, kind of honestly ugly website. But I had pulled it together and really tried to use the language of the ideal client that I wanted to and speak as though I was the CMO. I also reached out to my network and I told them what I was doing now and for who. So I said, hey, this is the kind of work that I want to take on. These are the kinds of clients that I really want to have. If you know anybody, please think of me. I also built out a one-pager and a services deck to share with my network and leads. And then lastly, I created packages for myself with just a CMO scope, and I priced myself like a leader. So hopefully that gives you some ideas for how you can reposition yourself and your experience to step into more of a leadership role with this skill set and experience you already have. Okay, so step 2 in going from expert marketer to fractional CMO is to create premium packages that are based on the value you deliver, not the hours you work. So we're going to talk about hourly rates for a minute. If any of you are still charging hourly, drop it in the chat. I want to hear. And this is the moment we're going to change that. We're not charging hourly anymore. The work you do as a leader and a strategist, so as an experienced marketer, it's highly impactful and it's worth way more than just the hours that go into it. So you have to remember, you're a leader. As a fractional CMO, you're driving the entire function of a business. So you need to start charging for the years of experience and expertise that you bring to the table. It's really your voice, your perspective, and the results that you drive. That is your value. So how many of you feel you're underpaid or should be charging more for the work that you do? Drop a me in the chat if that resonates. Okay, so I want to talk through premium packages and 3 reasons it's important for you to have premium packages. So right now, you're probably juggling multiple clients, working a lot of hours, endless to-do lists, but still not making the kind of money that you want to be making. It might feel like you're on a hamster wheel of work, but your bank account kind of sucks. It's just not where you want it to be. So I want you to know the problem is not your work ethic. It's your business model. So when you charge premium rates, you don't need 5 or 10 or 15 clients just to make decent money. You can actually replace all of that with 1 or 2 high ticket clients on retainer. When I realized this, my mind was blown. So I'm so excited to share this with you. This actually means as well, no more constantly chasing new leads. There's not like this hamster wheel of like project in, project out. It gives you more stability, gives you freedom in your calendar, and actually results in you working less. Also, the wrong pricing ends up attracting the wrong clients. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, overworked, or you're constantly dealing with clients who micromanage you, or they question your recommendations, they push your boundaries, and scope creep is constantly happening. They're trying to get discounts. They're really like questioning and not understanding why, or you're having to explain kind of the marketing basics to them. It's probably because you're pricing yourself like an implementer and not a leader. And the kind of person you attract with those price points are generally not, really high caliber clients. Higher paying clients value your expertise more, and they're way easier to work with. They're more committed, they take action, they trust your leadership, and you spend so much less time convincing them and explaining the basics of marketing, and more time doing the work that you love. And then the last thing here, you are an experienced marketer. So you're strategic, a creative thinker, you have an expertise that people are willing to pay for. So I'm sure you guys have heard that analogy of, a homeowner has a leaky pipe and they're trying to figure out what's going wrong. They call a plumber, the plumber comes, they spend, 3 minutes tinkering and like turning a knob or something, and the problem is fixed, and the homeowner gets a bill for $500 and is like, what, 5 minutes? That's crazy. And that story really emphasizes that it's actually the years of training and expertise and everything that matters that you're bringing to the table. So the reason that plumber is paid so well for 5 minutes of her time is because that person with all the years of experience knows exactly what to do. They can come into the home, have a quick look, and know in 1 minute exactly what to do to fix the problem. And as an expert marketer, that is you. So you can come into a business, look at their social, or look at their messaging, or look at their funnel, or look at their marketing as a whole, and you know what to do because you're experienced. And so that's how we want to think about your experience here. And remember that the homeowner or the client, if they already knew what to do, they would be doing it, and they don't. So that's where you come in. So raising your rates is not about charging more just to charge more. It's about actually getting paid for the value that you bring and your experience and the results that you drive. I've been told so many times what a relief it is to know that marketing's taken care of. So the client is paying for peace of mind and knowing that, they've handed the marketing reins in their business over to somebody, and they can feel comfortable and confident knowing that it's in good hands. They will always pay more for leadership and expertise and peace of mind, because that is far more valuable than just getting a list of tasks done for them. And yes, Ashley, like charging for the results we create, not the time. Okay, so I want to show you that $120,000 or 6 figures a year as a fractional CMO is actually so simple. And when I left corporate, I made a goal that I wanted to make $120,000. And at that time, that felt amazing to me. And actually that is an amazing salary. And it was more than I was making at the nonprofit I was at. And I had all these limiting beliefs as well around money and, what I could earn as a marketer. And, I had told myself, well, you left Lululemon, and because you're not working your way up to the CMO role there, like bye-bye to, those massive big paychecks. And, I'm not an investment banker. So, I'm only going to make X amount as a marketer ever. Like that's okay. And that, I told myself that it is what it is. But I quickly learned that I was dreaming too small, because at the end of my first fiscal year, I brought home $350,000, and that is take home. Like all of that was in my pocket profit. And this is because I had a business model that allowed me to do this. And again, I do not share this to be this like gross bro marketer. I hate all of that, but I share this because I want to show you what's possible. And when I realized that these rates are so normal in this space, it actually just felt like the best kept secret. And I remember thinking, like, why is nobody talking about this? This is insane. And as women, especially, like I'm such a huge advocate of talking about money and normalizing these conversations. So that is why I share this. So I want to break down the math for you. If you want to make six figures or $120,000 in a year, there's 3 ways we can do that. So we can do 1 client at $10K per month, or 2 clients at $5K per month, or 3 clients at $3.5K per month. And the wildest part is you can hit your 120K goal with literally just 1 client. So again, when I saw that was possible, my goalposts and my dreams and my goals for my business really shifted. And I started realizing that, actually 150K, 200K, or even more was really doable for me. And that was because of this business model. And because of this business model, it also meant that I didn't need to work insane hours to get there. So here's the thing. Making 6 figures as a fractional CMO is not about working more hours. It's about positioning yourself as a leader, working with the right clients, and creating premium retainer packages. So drop in the chat if this is starting to click for you and starting to feel like something that might resonate. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but Jess, I don't have a $5,000 or $10,000 offering, and I have no idea what that would look like. So I'm going to share a few ideas with you to get started. And remember that these can all be tailored to fit your experience and the work that you love. So we have so many different options here. You can put together a fractional CMO retainer, so being on retainer in someone's business as their fractional CMO. I often do marketing advisory packages, which are some of my absolute favorites. Marketing coaching, marketing audits, marketing strategy, offer or funnel audits. You can do launch or go-to-market strategies. You can do just a channel strategy, so taking email or paid ads or social media. You can do a VIP strategy day or a half-day strategy session. You can do a brand assessment or a channel audit or even a lead generation strategy. So the key thing to keep in mind is that these premium offers should be priced based on value and the results you're going to help get your clients. We are not pricing based on how much time it takes to create them. Remember, as a fractional CMO, we are not trading our time for money. So, step 3 in shifting from expert marketer to fractional CMO is identifying and closing your ideal clients. So obviously an essential part of running a successful business is knowing how to get high ticket clients. The truth is that most people actually really overcomplicate this step. One of the questions I get asked the most is, how did I land Jenna Kutcher as a client? So before I tell you how I did it, I want to show you what I didn't do. I didn't run ads or have some fancy funnel. I did not post every single day on Instagram. Actually, I was barely posting at all at that point in my career. I didn't have a large following. I might have had like maybe 300 people. I didn't have a special connection. I was not a star student in her programs. In fact, I don't think I had even taken any of her programs. And she didn't hear me on a podcast or reach out. So it was actually really, really simple what I did. I just asked. And when you become a fractional CMO and you're looking to sign your future dream clients, I have found that one of the best ways to do that and the quickest way is to go straight to the source and invite someone to connect with you. So since we have a limited amount of time together today and there's no one way to get clients, I'm going to break down exactly what I did to connect with Jenna and sign her as a client. So this is exactly what I did. I landed Jenna as a client by sending her a direct message on LinkedIn that focused on her. So instead of pitching me first, I personalized the message and focused on her. So instead of saying, hey, this is me, this is what I do, I had actually been listening to her book and I knew that she was going through like a bit of a metamorphosis with her business and shifting how she was doing things. And I said to her, hey, look, I know you're going through some changes. You know, there's probably lots that happens with that around repositioning and looking at your offerings and all of the things. And, if you ever want an extra, a sounding board or an extra set of hands or eyes in marketing to support with you and all of these changes, I'd love to connect. So really focused on her and where she was at. And I want to just also highlight that I use LinkedIn here. So I have found LinkedIn to be a really great place to do outreach because it's less cluttered than, the kind of the cold DM space that you see on Instagram. And it's a little bit more professional. So if you're not using LinkedIn already, I highly recommend updating your profile and starting to leverage this as a place to build out your network. Up until honestly, probably 3 months ago, I wasn't using LinkedIn in any consistent way. And I was always getting leads because of my profile being updated and optimized. So the next thing that I did was I sent 3 follow-up messages, and that's actually very low for me. I am like a huge follower upper. I once had a mentor tell me that best practice is to follow up until you hear a no. So that's my take. And honestly, I have had so many leads on like the 7th or 8th follow-up say to me, Jess, thank you so much for following up. I was so busy and I've been meaning to get back to you. So thank you for your persistence. And you might feel annoying, but trust me, it's the fortune really is the follow-up. And you need to be willing to send several messages to people. And the way that I look at it too is if I know that I have something that can actually help them and make their life and business easier, I'm doing this out of service to help them. And then lastly, I invited her to book a call with me so I could learn more about what she needed. So again, I'm focusing on her, not me. This wasn't a pitch call. This was a conversation. I actually remember it to this day. I was pacing back and forth. It was very sunny in my backyard. I had no shoes on, walking through the grass and just chatting with her on my phone. I remember being like, oh my God, Jenna Kutcher's calling me right now. I should have screenshotted it. So yeah, that conversation led to her hiring me, where I got to support her through one of her best performing launches and, really work with a great team through her. So quick reminder, if you stay until the end today, I am also going to be sharing my pitch emails that I used to sign Jenna as a client. I'll be gifting those to you at the end. So just quick recap here. We have talked about the 3 steps to go from expert marketer to fractional CMO. We've talked about how to position yourself and your experience as a leader. We've talked about how to create premium packages and why they are the way to go and doing the work that you love. And then we covered one way to get ideal clients. Drop in the chat hi if you're still with me. So now I want to share with you something. So imagine for 1 minute how you would feel if your days were really filled with work that you loved. You spent time in flow, work energized you. What tasks are you no longer doing? So what are you spending more of your time on? And what would it look like if you only worked with clients you love, with great budgets, who respected your boundaries, who paid you what you're worth, who valued your professional opinion and insights? Just imagine how that would feel. And what if you could design your career around your life and values instead of the other way around? So would you have Tuesday brunch with your girlfriends? Would you pick your kids up early from school? Would you take Fridays off? Would you have no meetings on Monday? Would you say goodbye to Slack forever? I want you to know that this business model is designed to work with your life and give you the freedom and flexibility that you crave over your time. So all of this, everything that I just got you to imagine, that is all possible with this fractional CMO model. If you take one thing away from today, like if you walk away from this training, I want this to be solidified in your mind. This is possible for you too. Everything that I shared today is possible for you. You do not need to be an expert in everything in marketing. You don't need to have it all figured out and all planned. You just need to take the next step and trust that the path will appear. Okay, so you have two options now. Option one, you can keep doing exactly what you're doing. So staying in the weeds as an executioner, not getting paid what you're worth, feeling stuck in the hustle with no time left for yourself, and just generally feeling, discouraged in your career. Or option two, you can decide that today is the day you're going to change the trajectory of your career and follow a proven plan to build a six-figure business as a fractional CMO. So if you're ready to build a marketing business that has the ability to create a six-figure income and the freedom you crave doing the work that you love, then I'd love to invite you inside Fractional CMO School. So I want to tell you a little bit about my student Miranda, who's a graduate from Fractional CMO School. When she came to me, she was working at her 9-to-5, just really feeling stifled in her career, wanting freedom and flexibility over her calendar, and wanting to just focus on the work that she loved. So this is what she had to say. She quit her 9-to-5. She said, "This program was the catalyst I needed to launch my own business. I put my notice in at my 9-to-5 and landed 3 contracts before I even left. I now have all the work I need to build my business." I cried, you guys, when I saw her email. I actually did. I've got some of my friends on here in the chat, they can vouch. I was crying. So happy to have that impact on her. Now, I want to talk to you about where you'll be at the end of our 6 months together if you decide to join me inside of Fractional CMO School. You will feel confident to pitch and convert high-ticket clients that you've always dreamed of working with. You'll also be able to make the switch from marketing TaskRabbit and doing all of the things to strategic marketing leader. You'll be able to confidently price yourself as a fractional CMO with the experience you have today. You'll also be able to build winning branded marketing strategies for clients designed around their goals. And you'll know how to be a CMO in your client's business because I'm going to show you exactly how. So I want to tell you what's included in Fractional CMO School. Inside Fractional CMO School, you'll get immediate access to the Learn to CMO course curriculum, which is step-by-step training on everything you need to know on how to be a fractional CMO. So the modules include CMO foundations, packages and pricing, attracting dream clients, unslimy selling, working with clients so you know actually how to be a CMO in their business, and tons more. Plus, you get access to this course content for life, and I'm always updating it as my processes and systems change around my business. So this course is valued at $3,000. You're also going to get my CMO template vault that includes literally everything. So in this template vault are my client pitch decks, strategy examples that I have done, campaign planning examples, templates and SOPs for literally everything I do as a CMO, and so much more. If I've built it, it is yours. And this is valued at $2,000. You're also going to get bi-weekly group coaching calls with me. So you have live support to ask your questions about packages, strategies, client challenges you might be having, sales, lead generation, and more. This 6 months of support is worth $6,000. Now, I want to also talk about something. So the better you get as a marketer, the harder it is to find circles of people at your level. So I don't know about you guys, but I crave being around other marketers who are smarter than me, who speak the same language as me, but who I can learn from. And I go crazy when I join groups and someone's asking, simple questions like, what's a KPI or what's a lead magnet? I really crave being around people that can, be smart, that are smarter than me and can teach me things. So I believe your success is really connected with who you spend time with, which is why this program comes with a community. So when you're surrounded by other people who are winning, you will build a bigger belief in yourself that you can win too. This community is a $3,000 value. And when you join Fractional CMO School, I also want to make sure you have the one-on-one support you need to keep building momentum, which is why this program also comes with daily coaching from me. So the program is hosted in Circle, where you can get feedback and coaching on literally anything you need from me. So drop your recorded sales calls, drop strategies that you're in the process of building for clients, your pitch decks, your packages, challenges you're having with a client, literally anything you need support on, you have it as you build up your fractional CMO business. So this individual support is worth $12,000. And then as a fractional CMO, running your own business, when I started this, there just were so many skill sets that I needed, from sales to lead generation to, me wanting to become a better marketer for my clients. And then mindset was such a massive thing that I hadn't expected. So when you join Fractional CMO School, you'll also get exclusive access to some of the smartest minds in the industry and some incredible coaches that I've personally paid thousands of dollars with to work privately. So some of the amazing sessions we have lined up for this year, we have closing high ticket sales that's coming up here at the end of March. We've got LinkedIn and lead generation. We've got mastering money mindset with my mindset coach, who has profoundly changed my entire life and everything around money, and so much more. So trainings are live once per month, and you also get access to the vault of past training sessions. So these guest expert trainings alone are worth thousands of dollars, and they're yours for free when you enroll to help you continue to up level as a marketer and grow your business. These expert trainings are easily worth over $20,000. So just a quick recap here. I know there's a lot included in this program. So quick review of everything you get when you join the Fractional CMO School 6-month program is lifetime access to the Learn to CMO course, lifetime access to the CMO template vault that's valued at $2,000, group coaching calls valued at $6,000, a community of marketers valued at $3,000, daily coaching with me valued at $12,000, guest expert trainings valued at $20,000, and that is a total value of $46,000. But when you join Fractional CMO School today, it's not going to cost you $46,000. It's only going to cost you one payment of $5,997 or 6 payments of $1,297. Now, I want to introduce you to my student, Cheyenne. So when Cheyenne came to me, she felt like she was early in her career and figuring out how to step into a leadership role. So, she wanted to step into authority, lead a team, learn, how does she take that next jump in her career? And she actually said that this was her first time investing in herself. So she was scared and nervous and wanted to make sure it was the right thing. And here's what she had to say. I made $100,000 in my business within just 6 months of joining Fractional CMO School. Fractional CMO School gave me the confidence and security I needed to quit my 9-to-5 and become a full-time CMO, all within just 6 months of joining the program. So I know that this program will work for you if you do the work. And I want to walk you through, I have a money back guarantee. If you decide for whatever reason at the end of 14 days, 2 weeks, that this program is not a fit for you, we will give you your money back, no questions asked. And, I really want to make sure that I know what it's like to invest in the wrong thing. And we really want to make sure that we've got the right people in the program. So we have this guarantee. And another additional guarantee that I have, if you complete all of the work and attend all the calls, leverage the coaching with me and implement what you learn, but you still haven't made your investment back, I will personally work with you one-on-one until you do. I'm so confident in this program that I can't even see that happening. Now, when you join Fractional CMO School, here is what you're going to overcome. The fear of staying stuck in the hustle and grind you're in right now and nothing changing. The fear that you'll continue to build everybody else's business and never have the time to build yours. You're probably looking around seeing everybody else winning. Why can't that be you? The fear of missing moments with your friends or family because you're working too much and you maybe didn't have your priorities straight. And then the fear of not living up to your own potential. That was huge for me. Now, I want to share something really important to you. I need you to know that I am not extra special. So when I started this business, I had no idea what I was doing. I was 38 weeks pregnant, and I was just looking for a way to build a business around my life instead of trying to squeeze my life in around the pockets of my job. I know what it's like to feel burnt out, to feel like maybe you're not sure you even like marketing. And I had limited time and resources to make something more of myself with a brand new baby and a toddler at home. And when I put this program together, I also want you to know it was not because I needed another offer. I created it because people kept asking me how I did it, how I went from being burnt out to thriving as a fractional CMO. And I have had so many people in my career help me along the way and, turn around and extend a ladder or a hand down the ladder and help me up. And I felt really compelled to pay it forward. So I know there's a lot of you who are in the same situation I was in 4 years ago. And I need you to know there is a better way. And that's why I took everything I learned and packaged it up into a simple program you could leverage to change your life just like it changed mine. Except you get the fast track because you don't have to make all of the mistakes that I made. And I really, really believe there is more than enough pie for all of us and that we can all be successful in doing this work. So if you're ready to start getting paid for your value, work with clients you love, and still have time for, mid-morning Pilates or slow coffees, I would love to invite you to join me inside of Fractional CMO School today. You can either scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the chat that will take you straight to the payment page. Now, I want to introduce you to my student, Lillian. When Lillian came to me, she was an experienced marketer, but she felt really stuck. She had built a business and really had sort of built something that was keeping her on the hamster wheel. She was so exhausted. It was just kind of relentless, but she was really unclear on how to take her existing experience and reposition herself. And she also didn't know how to land fractional CMO clients, or if she landed them, how to actually confidently deliver the work and show up as a CMO in their business. And this is what she said. I made back my investment into Fractional CMO School within the first 30 days. So at this point, you might have some doubts and you might be thinking things like, I don't know if I'm qualified to be a fractional CMO and lead teams. And this is really natural. Of course you feel this way because, no one feels qualified to do something they've never done before. And that's exactly why you're going to have access to all of my trainings and course content. So you can see exactly what it looks like to be a CMO, step into leadership, and sell yourself confidently. Plus, I'm going to hold your hand the entire way. You have me all the time. You also might be thinking, I'm already so busy, Jess. I do not know if I have the time for this. And look, this is a 6-month program for a reason. I don't expect you to binge the content in a weekend or put your life on hold. You have instant access to everything, which means you can start with the areas you need support in most and come back to those areas that you aren't ready to implement yet. And the truth is, 6 months is going to go by anyways, whether you join the program or not. So the question really is, are you going to do something different right now so that 6 months from now, your bank account, your client workload, and your days look different than they do right now? Or are you going to stay the same? And you might also be thinking, I'm afraid to spend the money. And listen, I get it. I would be naive to think this is the first thing you've ever invested in. And if some of your last investments didn't pan out for you, then it's likely you have some hesitancies or doubts around investing in yourself again. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh, Jess, that's a lot of money. Well, good. And I want you to think about that because this is a serious investment. $1 million dreams are not created from minimum wage investments, and this should feel like a big decision because it is. It could change the trajectory of your whole life and business, and it certainly did mine. And I want to make sure that the people who come into this program are the right people. They're serious about building a business. They're not afraid of the work it's going to take to make it happen, because those people will have no problem 10xing their investment and making their money back. But I also know what it's like to invest in the wrong thing, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen to you, which is also why I'm giving you a 14-day guarantee. So you can come and try out the program for 2 weeks, make sure it's exactly what you think you need to move forward, and if it's not, I'll give you your money back. You literally have nothing to lose. So if you are feeling ready to make the leap, I want to challenge you to stop playing small. This really could be a life-changing moment for you. So it's time to step into a new chapter of your career. If you're feeling really ready to stop trading your time for money, stop doing the grind of executional work every day, then join me inside Fractional CMO School to create the business you've been dreaming about. You can scan the QR code or click the link in the chat. Now, I want to show you also my other student, Emma. So when Emma came to me, she was struggling to attract the right clients. Her pricing was low. She was doing a lot of copywriting and messaging, yet leads were still actually really hesitant to invest. And she wasn't really sure how to position herself confidently or step into leadership. And she wanted a clear roadmap so she could stop second guessing and start landing high quality clients who saw her value. She said, "This is the best investment I've ever made. I've completely revamped my offer suite, updated my website, and I have sales calls lined up with dream companies." Okay, so now I'm going to open up the floor to some questions. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. And while you're doing that, I had a few that were pre-submitted that I will answer here while you're dropping yours in the chat. I'm also going to hop back on camera here and stop sharing my screen. Hi. All right. So first question that was submitted, someone had said, what if I don't have a big network? Can I still find high ticket clients? And I want to say absolutely yes. So when I started this business, well, and even now, I'm not the best at, maintaining my network. And I will say, because of this model, this isn't about volume. We don't need like 10, 15 clients. We just need a small handful. Even one can be really, really life-changing. So I did not have a big network. I still don't feel like my network is huge, and I have no problem finding clients. Drop your questions in the chat if you have anything. I'm gonna just keep going through the list that I have here, but if you have other questions, please don't be shy. Okay, Brianna said, how do you navigate ensuring the business who hires you as a fractional CMO has the people/resources available to actually support your strategy? How do you avoid getting pulled into the weeds? Oh, those are big questions. Well, I have a really comprehensive screening process for when I'm working with or pulling in leads. So I don't get on a call with somebody until they've filled out my intake form and I understand enough about their business to know if they'll be a fit or not. And then I have a comprehensive audit and strategy process where I start with that so I can see, okay, what needs to be done here and are there any team gaps? And so those types of things and how I run my sales conversations, all of that allows me to really know and understand a client's potential structure of their team and what gaps there might be. And so I'm really clear up front what is needed for a client to actually execute on the strategies that we put together. And all of this, that is like the quickest answer ever, but all of this is mapped out in my course on how I go through all of those steps and really like what I have found to be an ideal client, what I have found to be an ideal team structure, all of that is mapped out in the course. And then you asked, how do I avoid getting pulled into the weeds of execution? Again, that is a big question, and I don't know that I can do it justice quickly here, but I will say there's lots of things that I do from the very first touch point with a lead all the way through the sales process. It's all kind of baked into like my scripts, my sales decks, all of that to set them up for, I'm not an executor, I'm a leader. You're hiring, a partner to work with you and run your marketing. So that, and then I also have clear process around how I work with clients. So depending what package they're on with me, they know what that looks like. And I have process on the back end, so I know what that looks like when I come into a client's business, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. What am I doing and what am I not doing? Okay, thanks so much, Frack. So nice to have you here. Have a great rest of your day. And I know we are almost at time. I'll probably go through one more quick question here. Oh, there's another one here from Shay. Have you ever had a lead that you thought would be good, but after your screening process realized it wasn't? How did you navigate this and give them the news that you didn't want to take them as a client? Absolutely, that happens all the time. There's been so many times I've been excited about a lead or a potential connection and then talked with them. And the way that I position it to them is that, I will say often, most clients that come to me, at the very least, I can build out a really comprehensive strategy for them. And I actually love doing that because it's kind of this like quick cash injection. And I have this dialed process that makes it really quick to do. They come out with a really comprehensive strategy and they can take that and run with it and action it. So when I need to have those conversations around it not being a fit, I'm always coming from the place of like putting the client's business and their needs first before mine. So I will say to them, look, my number one thing is that I don't want to suck up your whole budget. So if I'm doing a strategy for you, I want to be maximizing your budget. If I see that you only have X amount of dollars to spend, and I think you need to go do all these things over here, and you bringing me on is going to not let you do those things or mean that you don't have the executional support that you need, then I won't recommend that you work with me ongoing. So it's really coming from a place of service. And then there has definitely also been times where clients are just way too small for me, and I'll have those conversations. And it really just comes down to, if they're way too small that they can't even afford, one person to execute anything, they're just not even really ready for the kind of strategy I'm going to put together anyways. One other question here that came in was, I already have a marketing business. Can I transition my existing clients into this model? And I will say absolutely yes. I have done it and I have had students do it as well. And I have frameworks for how to do that. So it's really, again, around positioning and highlighting, opportunities that you're seeing within the business, but it's absolutely possible. And then another question here, I don't have much experience leading teams. Will I learn that? Yes, absolutely. So if, like Cheyenne's story, if that is new for you, it's definitely something I can coach and support you on. And then I also had students in the past who have not been very excited about the leading team aspect of it. And you also can create your packages in such a way where you are actually not really much in the weeds of leading teams, or you don't even have to. There's some of my packages where I'm not leading teams at all. I'm actually just creating strategy and advising the clients. And sometimes those are my favorite clients to work with. Couple more here. I've got, how long does it usually take for students to land their first client after joining? I will say that one is very different. It really depends on the person and how quickly you're implementing your learnings. But I do work with everybody and help put together your custom starting plan. So we look at like, where are you at now, and what's kind of the low hanging fruit? Where can we really focus? How do we get you that quick win right away? So I would help you put together, your plan so that we can hopefully land your first client really quickly. And I have had a lot of students get their first client probably within the first 1 or 2 months. But again, it really depends on how much time you're spending in the program and how much you're leveraging my coaching as well. And then if you can keep dropping questions in the chat. I'll just do one more unless there's more that come in the chat. I'm happy to stay on longer if anybody else has other questions in the chat, but I'll just do one more. And then if there's nothing else, I will hop off. This last question here is, sorry, where did it go? Is it super rare to find the client who pays $10,000 a month? I will say no, it's actually not. And I know that sounds crazy. And when I first heard these rates, I too was like, wow, what? That's crazy. That must just be like, not for me. Like there must be 1 in a million. And it's actually very common. And I teach you how to price yourself that way, how to sell that way. And a lot of our guest experts that come in, we talk about sales and closing sales, lead generation, all types of things. So we go over all of that, and it's not rare. It's not rare. You probably haven't seen it because you're not even trying to price yourself that way. All right, here from Emily. Oh, Emily, you're the best. Thank you so much. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all got a lot of value from this, and that you really understand the power of moving from an expert marketer to a fractional CMO. If you have any other questions for me about the training or the program, please feel free to reach out to me on the Instagram DMs. I'm a big voice noter. I'm always in there. And I can't wait to see you inside the program. All right, thanks everybody.